Hi. Hi, this is Professor C.A. Liily Chwda, and today I'm going to explain the topic Stakeholders in Commercial Organizations, which is the first chapter for ICSE syllabus of Commercial Studies for class 10. So, first of all, we need to understand these two terms. One is stakeholders and one is commercial organizations. Now, in the ninth standard, you've already studied that there are two main types of organizations, that is commercial and non-commercial. Now, when I talk about commercial, that directly comes from commerce. So, all organizations which are doing some kind of business in order to make a profit, they come under the category of commercial organizations. And those which are doing their business for charity or for service to the community, they come under non-commercial. Now, for non-commercial organizations, the way they handle their business and accounts and everything is quite different. But here today in our topic, our focus is commercial organizations. So we are talking about those organizations. They may be a proprietorship concern, a partnership firm, a company, or any form of organization which is doing the business with the aim or motive of earning a profit. So that is commercial organization. Now, what are stakeholders? When I say I have a stake in something, means I have an interest in something. If that organization loses, makes a loss, or runs into a problem, then it will directly or indirectly affect me. In that scenario, I become a stakeholder of that organization. So, when a person is dependent on a particular organization for earning some kind of a benefit, that person becomes a stakeholder. So, let us go ahead and see the meaning, the technical meaning of stakeholders. So, stakeholders mean individuals, groups, and institutions. So, they could be a single person, they could be a group of persons, or they could be an institute. When I talk about an institute, that is, it's a company, maybe a cooperative society, or any such institute which is formed. It could be a school, a hospital, all these are institutes. So, the stakeholder need not necessarily be a person, an individual or a natural person as we refer to, but that stakeholder can be a group of people also, or it could be an institute, a non-living entity, right? That have a stake. And as I said, what is a stake? It is an interest or benefit. So, the existence of that organization affects me in some kind of positive way. That is why I am interested to be associated with that organization. And that is what makes me a stakeholder in the functioning and performance of. So, I am interested in what? That the organization keeps on functioning and keeps on performing well. So, when the organization performs well, I will get the benefit of that performance, and that is why I have an interest or benefit for the benefit, that is, I am interested in the prosperity of that organization. So I am interested in seeing how it functions and performs. Why would I be interested in that? Because when the organization performs well, the profits are going to filter down to me. The benefit is going to filter down to me, whether directly or through an indirect manner. Commercial or business organization. So what I am having a stake in, because our topic says stakeholders in commercial organizations. So obviously I am having that interest or that benefit or that stake in the commercial or business organization, and are influenced by the decisions and actions of the organization, and as I have been saying, either directly or indirectly. So whatever decision that organization will take, it will have an effect on this particular stakeholder, whether in a direct manner or in an indirect manner. Okay, so that is what a stakeholder is. When a person is interested in keeping a check on the functioning of an organization. And why am I keeping that check? Because the direct effect of that functioning or the performance of that organization is going to affect me in some way or the other. Let us see who can be the stakeholders. So obviously our first set of stakeholders are the owners. The owners of an organization definitely directly have a stake in the organization. When the organization performs well, the owner gets the chunk of the profit. These owners for companies, when I'm talking about a company, again you've studied the different forms of organization in the 9th standard. So you already know that you have proprietorship where there is a sole proprietor. He is the owner. We have a partnership where partners are the owners. But in a company, there is not 1, 2 or maybe 10 or 20 owners, but there are multiple owners. The owners sometimes, the number of owners sometimes runs into thousands, and they are collectively called the shareholders because they hold shares in that particular company. Okay. What are shares? What is a shareholder? We will be doing that in a later chapter in much more detail. So for now, you should remember that the owners of a company are referred to as the shareholders or employers. Now, sometimes when the organization is small, the owner himself is the employer. He is the person who appoints people. But in a company form of organization where the business is too large, there all shareholders are not directly involved in the business. So they assign that task to the managers. So these people also indirectly become the owners, okay? And they are one of the stakeholders because of course their livelihood depends upon the functioning and performance of this particular organization. Then of course we have employees, the people who work in an organization. Why would they be interested in the organization? Because if the organization keeps on functioning well, they get their salaries on time, their job is secured, and also they expect some kind of extra benefit in the form of a bonus or a gift from the employer or the company. But if the company performs poorly, there is likelihood that they may lose their job. So employees definitely are another important set of stakeholders. Then we have the creditors or dealers or suppliers. The people who are supplying goods to us, and they are supplying goods to us on credit. What do I mean by on credit? We are not making immediate payment to them. We will be making a payment to them in the future. So such categories, that is these creditors, the people who have to receive some money from the organization, are also interested in the well-being of that organization, and therefore they also become stakeholders. Then we have associates or competitors, the other businesses which are doing a similar business like this organization. They are called the competitors. There are others who may be having the dealership of this organization. Like there is a company A, it is having its head office in Bombay, and it has given some shops in various parts of the country to run and sell their products. So they are called dealers. So how are they affected by my organization's working? Because of course, if the organization stops functioning, then the associates will also lose their source of income because they are selling the goods which are being manufactured by this organization. So they also become a stakeholder. And competitors, they always are looking for new ways to compete with us. So indirectly, the competitor's business also depends on the business of the parent organization or the prime organization that I am talking about. And therefore, competitors also become a stakeholder to some extent. Government, definitely. Government collects taxes from businesses. So the government is definitely interested in the well-being of the organization. If the organization functions well, makes a good amount of profit, the government will get its taxes. Apart from that also, the organization brings in a lot of other revenue and other forms of benefits for the government, and therefore they also become the stakeholders. And then we have the society or the general public. Any person, any public community depends on certain organizations for their requirements, their day-to-day requirements. So that way they are also dependent on the organization. They have a stake in the organization. They are interested in the well-being of the organization. So now we are going to, later on, we are going to see how each and every one of these stakeholders is affected or what they expect out of the organization. Thank you.